What's up, Maniacs? Today we're here with
Dappa Dan from Dappa Dan's Barbershop here in Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas.
and then we are also with
Patrick Fuller. I go by Pat the Irish Barber.
That's awesome. And today we're here at Harley Davidson, actually. And these two men are great people who have stories that they'd like to share to our audience. So whoever would like to go first, I would say Pat, because you were the first person who I met. Pat, as a seed, we all have to go through dirt to grow. Pat, what is some of the dirt that you've been through?
I've been through a lot. Not only just me and my sister. I love my mom to death. My mom didn't make some of the best choices growing up for us, but I don't hold it against her. But I've seen some crazy stuff, like, because I grew up all over Fort Worth. And, like, I went to 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and I was blessed to go to all 4 years at the same high school, Richland. And, of course, they're not the rebels no more, but we were rebels. But I'm very diverse. I'm into all type of culture. Like, when he first met me, he thought I was Mexican. Because, yeah. But, like, some of the things that I saw here in the 80s, like, I lived in Riverside, and back then it was starting to get bad with gangs. And, like, I went to this school called Nathan Howell, and me and my sister were walking. I was in 3rd grade, my sister was in 2nd, and we found a girl hanging in a tree. She was butt naked. And I kept telling my teacher, Mrs. Glenn, she didn't believe me, and finally drove me over there and saw it. This is crazy. I'll never forget it. I don't know exactly what happened to her. I don't know. I have a feeling she might have been, like, gang raped, because back then there was a lot of, Hispanic gangs that I guess were coming in from Mexico. I don't know. And, like, my mom made a stupid decision, ended up marrying the neighbor, which was horrible, but I don't want to get into that. But the things that he did and the things that I saw and witnessed, and the crap that my sister went through, and then
It's too much for children.
we just started, it's just amazing, like, how many things that I've been through, and I'm like humble and grateful.
You're
And
positive.
Reason why people flock to me is because I treat people how everyone should be treated. I don't want to be treated the same way. It takes a lot to get under my skin, and I think a lot of it had to do with it is when I was 18, me and my stepdad got into it pretty bad, almost killed him, and I lived with my grandma in Diamond Hill my whole senior year, and I had to go to anger management classes and all that, so I really learned how to control my anger. But the thing is, once I get to that point, and I can't, it's hard to stop me. And then, like, I don't know, the way it was, we were brought up in the 80s, like, I was on Ritalin so bad. And Ritalin's basically just legalized meth. It suppresses your appetite. And then when I got taken off it, I started getting bigger and bigger. Like, my freshman year, I was 5 foot tall, 180. By the time I graduated, I was 331. And, like, my coaches were pushing us, get bigger, get bigger. And I was in powerlifting and everything. And, like, I got hurt and had knee surgery, and all the schools just stopped talking to me. And then, like, I tried out for the Dallas Desperados a few times, would get cut. And then I had a kid die at birth in '02, and it really took a toll on me. And I just kind of gave up and we end up breaking up. I don't know really why. She never gave me a reason, but it really hurt me. We were like, I was 5 years older than her. We had the same birthday, and it was just great. I thought I was gonna marry her, and I've always kind of wanted to start my own family and start. It didn't pan out. I wanted what my great grandparents had. Like today's generation is totally different, like how it was back in the day, and like with the newer generation, everyone's always glued to their phone. Like it's hard. Like I stayed out till the street lights came off, and then came on. Like I learned how to ride a bike at the age of 4 by just getting on the curb and pushing myself off. And then I started learning how to swim at a very young age. I love swimming, but that's kind of the split. But like I'm had some people that are very close to me, um, go through suicide, and the ones that are close to me, you don't expect it because they never talked about it. And what I've experienced with people is the people that talk about it all the time say they're going to do it. I think they're just trying to achieve attention. They want attention and they don't really do it. They don't mean it. I hate that people do it that way. I feel like it's an act of coward, them being cowards, because they don't actually know how much damage it does to other people as well. But the one that really got me was a couple weeks ago. I had a friend that I've known for 30 years. He shot himself in the head in front of his wife and kids. And like when the autopsy came back, like he had so much methadone and like hydrocodones. They said something triggered him and he probably would have died. Like we didn't even know he was on heroin. Nobody did. He hit it. But the one that really got me was a few years ago. His name was Pacer. Everyone called him Sir Reverend Pacer. He was good friends with the guys in Whiskey Dick. They're a two-piece acoustic band. And Pacer was in this group called BICA, Bikers Against Child Abuse. And like he was even going to give my mom a ride on his Harley to do the toy run. And Pacer was a good guy. Like he never talked bad about anybody. He was just, I'm still shocked that he did it. And like it's going on like probably like 10 years now, maybe 12 years. I'm trying to remember, but everyone knew Pacer. Yeah, he even married Johnson from Whiskey Dick. Let's get to my brother. This is my brother.
Right.
We've been through a lot. We have crazy stories as well. But like I've watched him grow. He's also watched me grow. He's also pushed me. He's had my back. I'm at his back. And like his son is amazing. Totally opposite. I feel like his son more favors his dad. Dappa just lost his dad a few years ago too, but I don't know. Let's hear from you, D.
What's your question, Smiles?
So-
Same to me.
So I'm curious. Yeah, I mean, you understand in order to grow as anyone, we have to go through dirt to grow. I'm curious as to what is some of the dirt that you've been through to shape you who you are.
Well, first of all, I think that's a great question,
Thank you.
and I want to take my hat off to what you're doing. So thank you for this opportunity. All right. Going back to my personal dirt, my situation was different. I came from a very good family, very sound unit. We were very tight, very small family. It was just me and my little brother. And I was the kind of kid that made the wrong decisions all the time. And there was no reason for it. There was no rhyme or reason. I just chose to be a snot-nosed kid. But I learned that every time I did something wrong, made that wrong decision, there was always a consequence. Um, so then, growing up, being a teenager, I had a family real young. And for me, being 15, 16, starting a family that young actually saved my life, because what it did is it took me off the streets. It took me away from running around with the wrong crowd. And now I had to be a man at the age of 15, 16. Now I had children to take care of and mouths to feed. So it actually saved my life. And I started barbering at the age of 26, got my license around 27. And barbering for me really got me out of my shell. And it really allowed me to see life in a different perspective. So being about a barber, I was a barber about 3 years in, and randomly, just out of nowhere, lost my only brother. He was, so I was 30. I was 31 when he passed. He was 27. And my brother just got up one day to go to work and fell to his death. When the autopsy came back, it had said that, and I didn't know that our bodies had electricity, but it said that there was low electricity in his body, and he had a brain aneurysm. So when someone has a brain aneurysm, it's something that person wants to be in a hospital, because that person's window is like 5 minutes to be to have assistance, right? So that was the first time, Smiles, I had ever in my life felt depression. I thought depression was something fake. They did like I'm not the kind of person that would ever be depressed. But because of that, in the manner how we lost my brother, and he left 3 kids behind, and he left a widow, that rocked our world. It really did. And I couldn't go to my parents and cry to my parents and share my pain with my parents, because they had just lost a son. You know what I'm saying? They were going through their own battle. So what I did, instead of seeking a higher power and doing things differently, I started drinking. I got heavy into alcohol. I got heavy into drugs. And I thought that it was actually doing good, because it did numb the pain while I was gone and not coherent. But the next morning, when I had to face the music, or that because I would be so drunk that I hurt someone's feelings the night before, or there was a couple times I broke the law. There was
in the balls.
many of that, right? And now what I was doing was digging myself a deeper hole, right? And there's a lot of layers to that, Smiles. And what I'd like to do, because as barbers, we're given a platform to where we don't just cut hair. We listen to people.
We're a psychiatrist.
People come here and they vent, bro. You know what I'm saying? And there's some people that Patrick can tell you endless amount of stories. I've been a barber 22 years. I can tell you endless amount of stories of people that are going through depression, that don't know how to talk about it. They're embarrassed of their depression. They don't have a support system at home. They have no one to talk to. So there's times where we're that lifeline as a barber, man. And it's an honor, I think, for us as barbers, because I've lost many of customers. I've had many customers that have lost many loved ones because of depression. And I would like to kind of go down a rabbit hole if you allow it to, but I feel that the pharmaceutical industry has a lot of responsibility when it comes to this topic, Smiles. I really do. I feel that we have to start holding them accountable, because when someone's depressed, that's a level of weakness in different factors. It's when someone's going through depression, there's a physical drain. There's also a mental drain. But most importantly, the last one is a spiritual weakness. So when someone goes to the doctor and they're like, I'm depressed, the stories that I get from people that share with us their experiences at a doctor's office, and I don't mean to down talk on doctors, but I think maybe doctors are for one, they're so trained and They have a regimen maybe that they have to stick to, and because of liability issues or whatever the case may be, but they're not really there as a friend or an ear or a shoulder to cry on. They're just there to prescribe a medication, right? And I get that. And not all medication's bad. So, not to get into too much detail on this particular situation that I encountered through a personal friend, but there was a friend of ours that was on a new drug, had just hit the market. They were kind of a guinea pig. And I want to say that they were maybe on this depression medication, not even a full month. And one day, this person decided to take their life pretty much in front of their family. It was a family gathering. And like what Patrick said, um, what it does, it hurts your loved ones and the people that are after you, right? The children, your spouses, your parents. You know what I'm saying? And this person, I know that if that person was not under the influence of that medication, that person wouldn't have done that. That person really wouldn't have done it. And what we have to understand is that when you are physically weak and mentally weak, you're also spiritually weak. So when I was weak in all of those layers, and I was suppressing my depression with alcohol and with other drugs, now what's happening is like I'm separating spirit and body, and I'm allowing space between body and spirit. And what we have to understand is that there's positive energy out in the world, and there's also negative energy out in the world. And once you become weak and vulnerable, you allow the negative energy now to enter into your temple. And we have to understand that is a real thing, you know. And now, on top of all of the junk and all of the weight that we carry, now we're allowing negative energy to enter. And now there's voices, there's things that we're being manipulated by, and now you're in a hole that you don't know how to get out of. But I have good news. I have great news. You can get out of that hole, and there's steps that you can do that. And that's why I'm so thankful that we're on this platform with Smiles, and that you've invited us today, and for what you're doing, because there needs to be more of this. And um and I feel what it should start is, for one, if you're depressed and you're going through these battles, spiritual battle, mental battle, and you're just beaten up physically, you don't have what it takes to live anymore. The good news is that love is going to get you through it. Love conquers all. And it starts with one person planting the seed into that dirt, and then it takes another person to water that seed. And I feel that that's what you're doing. There's people are coming to you that you're watering seeds, and there's other people that are coming to you where you're actually planting a seed. And then it's going to take someone like Patrick, or maybe someone like myself, to water those seeds. So my question is, it's an open-ended question. The floor is open to anyone. And what do we do? How do we do to start spreading the love and the encouragement that these people are depressed? Where can they go to for help? Where can they go to just to have a shoulder to cry on, Smiles?
One of the best places to go to, and one thing that's helped me personally when I've been through these deep dark holes that of depression, of these sadness, of these screaming in my head, call 988. It is a suicide hotline number. They just changed the
988.
number. It used to be
Okay.
1-800-273-8255. I've memorized that number since I was like 14. But whenever they changed it, uh, genuinely, they are there to help you.
You can also text it now.
You can
You
text
can text it.
Yeah.
And there have been times I've heard where people are like, they're too busy, they get put on hold. It happens. And like some people, one time someone told me that they got put on hold, and it just made them laugh, and then that made them reconsider everything. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. But like, even if that number isn't there, one of the biggest cures for depression in general is just motion. Have you got some sun today? Have Have you went outside? Have you worked on yourself? Have you worked
Music.
out?
Very
Music.
simplistic
The music,
thing.
music. So, and it's so
Yeah.
like, but we get so in our head where it's like, I'll sleep so much because I don't want to be alive, and that's true depression. That is whenever I am at those dark points where I do not want to be up. But those days where I'm out today, there's sun shining on us. We're talking about a topic that genuinely will help people. These are the moments that take away that depression, that don't even make it feel like it exists. As a matter of fact, it just shows how strong we really are because we can even overcome what we've been through to talk about this and help people.
Exactly.
And that's my biggest thing is that if you feel like there's nothing to go to, you have to understand there's so much out there. And if you feel like nobody cares about you, we care about you. We care about you enough to do this, to meet up and
Absolutely.
and be here. And we're not alone. We're not the only people fighting against suicide and depression. There are people out there. You just have to search for it within yourself. Love yourself.
That's right.
I feel like spiritual also helps. Like I grew up in churches. I grew up in Baptist church most of my life. And then we decided to go to like a non-denominational church. It was kind of like Pentecostal. I'm always been a believer, but like I'm coming up on my 1-year accident on the 25th, and like me going through death where like I should have died and I didn't. And
he was fighting for his life for 4 months in the hospital just last year.
It's just it's amazing how far I've come and what I went through. And my experience is how you treat people. It wasn't for my friends, my customers. Like my mom would have been even more screwed. Like Brandy, she's another barber that she comes and goes. She's traveling right now. And Brandy and me got a lot closer. And I think of her as a sister because she kept pushing me, getting under like my ass because I just felt like I wanted to.
There was a time where Patrick was in the hospital,
give up,
and he had given up. He had given up physically. I think he'd given up mentally. And if Patrick wouldn't have got out of that hospital bed,
all the medicine they had me on.
If he wouldn't have gotten up out of that hospital bed, we honestly feel we would have lost Patrick. So I was there advocating for Patrick. Patrick's mother was there advocating. And then we had another barber by the name of Brandy. Brandy actually went to a whole nother level. And not that I recommend you go yell at the doctors and the staff, but the thing is that where Patrick was, he just was not getting the care that he should have been getting. And it takes someone to advocate for you when you can't. And like he said, he was under a lot of medication. He didn't know. He could have signed his life away, and you know what I'm saying? But it takes having just that one person to love you. And you have to understand that you are loved. No matter with that negative energy, and you mentioned voices, sometimes voices are screaming at you. You don't know where they're coming from. And they're weighing on you, weighing on you, weighing on you. You've got all this weight on you. They're there to break you down. But just know,
take it different than women. Like men know how to hold it better than women. Some women can hold it, some can't. Some are just don't know what to do. But like as my aspect, everything I went through growing up, watching my dad die in front of me, and like I knew him as my dad. I found out later he wasn't my dad, but my dad died from AIDS. And like he did not look like anything I remembered. And I still don't understand why my mom took us there to see him. But I mean, I felt like she owed it to us. But like I still see that image every day. And then like stuff that I've been through, like I accidentally killed somebody in 2006 by accident. It was just a freak accident. And I still think about it, where you spin around in your mind, in your head, what if I done something different? And you can't do that. Like me, I should have gone to a professional school after I graduated, but I affected letting that teacher bug me. Like I would have been doing hair for 27 years if I decided to go straight into it after school. But I can't look back like that. And the game has changed so much over the years with hair. And like, I remember sitting in the chair watching my granddad. And like my granddad converted, he was a barber and started doing women's hair. And watching him, I just sit there and watch him for hours. And like all this stuff, like one lady was talking about an affair, blah, blah, blah. And then he put her in the dryer and the other lady come in and I'm like, my grand's like, nope. The next customer came in was her husband. So like there's sometimes you got to keep things. That's why like barbering or cosmetologists, we're also like therapists as well. Because people tell us their story.
Yeah. We have to be confidential with some of the things that we hear and learn, you know. It's
just keep your mouth shut.
It's a unique position to really be in. But I wanted to add something I felt that kind of tugged on my spirit. My Instagram is Dappa Dans, all lowercase, just Dappa Dans. And if you need someone to talk to, or if you just want someone to pray for you, you can call because you can call now on Facebook and Instagram. I would love to sit and just talk to you, or just if you need a shoulder to cry on, you need someone to pray for you. I'm that guy. Reach out to me. So that's my Dappa Dans on Instagram and on Facebook.
Yeah. Pray hard. It works. Pray works.
It really does.
Whether you're a believer or not, like talk to him. You might not think he's listening, but I promise you he is.
He really is. And that's the thing, is that the Creator's given you, the Creator of you and the Creator of the universe has given us a direct line to where we can talk to him directly. How Smiles and I are talking, how Patrick and I talk, that's exactly how you can talk to him. You don't even have to say the words out loud if you don't want. You just say the words in your head. And when you feel like the weight is on you and you don't have what it takes anymore to live, and all this negativity is just on you, just cry out to him. Say, if you're real, then where are you? If you're real, can you just give me some sort of a sign? And that's how it starts. It's a relationship. I heard a young girl say something really, really clever, and it was very powerful. Did you know that gloves are made in the image of our hand? Right? Would you say that? Yeah. A glove? Yeah. A glove. You and I wear gloves every day. Sure, yeah. So the glove is made in the image of our hand. But did you know that glove has no purpose until the hand enters that glove?
Yeah.
And what happens now with that glove? That glove now could be in a doctor's hand, saving a patient's life. It could be in a barber's hand, giving the most amazing haircut or beard shaping to put a smile on that person's face. Now that glove has a purpose. So it's the same thing with you. You are made in God's image. It says that you are made in his image. So because you are made in his image, when you allow God to enter in, like the hand enters into a glove, now you've got purpose. Now you've got power. You've got empowerment. You've got love. And it is so difficult to go through life. You can do it. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's so difficult to go through life without your Creator. So I have a question. For you, Miles. Smiles. I'm sorry. Smiles. Because there's a Miles, our tattoo artist, his name's Miles. Shout out to Miles, by the way. Love Miles. Anyways, would you take a Tesla to a Ford house to get serviced?
No.
Why not?
Because it's a Tesla.
It's a Tesla. You can't take a Tesla to a Ford house. So next question. Can you take a Ford to a Tesla house to get it serviced?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't recommend it, right?
Yeah.
So the whole point of this is that you have to take that creation, that Tesla, back to its creator to get its service. That creator knows that creation better than anything. It's exactly how your creator knows you better than you. So just allow him to enter. Food for thought.
I like that. That was very cool. I've never heard someone
Thank you.
say it like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, I do have a question for both of y'all, because we have talked about the traumas and kind of the hard times of life. I'd like to turn it around and talk about why we think life is beautiful, even though we live in this world of all of this
Chaos, right?
chaos. Yeah. Why do y'all think life is beautiful? And anyone can answer first. But why do you think life is beautiful?
Go for it, D.
Life is beautiful, man, because of my family, my children. My children are everything. I'm now a grandparent and I get to see my grandkids. Life is beautiful because of moments like this. I just met this individual and just his energy and the positivity. This is the thing. We need more positivity in this world. And life is beautiful for the friends in my life. Life is beautiful when I'm able to help a stranger out for whatever the case may be, whether me just be a ride or just giving a dinner or helping them fight, whatever the case is. That's what life is about, man. Is we were not made to be loners. We were made to interact with one another, to be in social settings. I understand there's some of us that are introverts. There's times where I'm an introvert. I just kind of want to be left alone. There's nothing wrong with that. But we weren't made for that. We were made to have companions. We were made to be with animals. We were made to be out in God's wilderness. So that's why, for me, life is so beautiful. But really, is I do what I do for my family and my children, and it's important to me. It really is, and it allows. I think becoming a dad at just at any age. Once you become a dad, you see life in a completely different perspective. You really do. So that's why it hurts me when I see men that have children and just children at child after child after child after child, and they're not even in their child's life. Like, just the selfishness that individual has to create life without a care in the world and then not have a care for that child's life. That to me is just selfishness to a whole nother level that I don't respect.
So there's this band that's called 6 a.m. and Nikki Sixx is the founder of the band. That's why it's called 6 a.m. Yeah, he's also a member of Motley Crue. They have a song that's called Life is Beautiful. And when I first heard it is when I was going through stuff where I had all the signs. Like, I thought I had leukemia. I was told I had leukemia. I was because I was so overweight. I got up to 500 pounds. I was 490, but you might as well just say 500 pounds. And I had to wear a mask to sleep because my oxygen levels would drop when I would sleep. And it was causing me to bleed. And like, my mom was trying to prepare me, like, write stuff down for a funeral, all kinds of stuff. But Nikki Sixx struggled with heroin, and he almost died, and that's what turned his life around. He has a book called The Heroin Diaries, and that's why he created this other band called 6 a.m. But life is beautiful. There's all aspects of it. It might be bad, it might be good. It's how you make it. It's also how you view it, your aspects, how you treat people. And like, I have a kid, his name's Axel. I'm not his dad by birth, by blood, but he's my son. I've been there since he was 2. He's almost 10. And he reminds me so much of me when I was growing up. Like, I would do anything for Axel. And like I don't get to see him like I want to because me and his mom we kind of parted ways, but like
But you're still in his life.
I'm still in his life, and I'm not gonna give
You're
up
his
on him.
dad, no matter
Yeah.
what, right?
And like the things that my mom did to me and my sister growing up and stuff that she put us through. Like my uncle stepped up, my Uncle Robert, and like my Uncle Robert's only 10 years older than me, and like he decided to change his life right when we were going through stuff as well. But I remember all this stuff that I saw him do, and he met this amazing woman, and she changed his life. I'm my Aunt Sherry had 3 battles with cancer. The third one finally took her, and uh, she was my favorite aunt. I I miss her. She was just so easy to talk to. You know, sometimes when you talk to people, they like you can tell like they don't care, and they're looking at you, and they're already starting to judge you. But you can tell by the tones and their how they look. Like my Aunt Sherry was nothing like that. And I used to be like that at first. My aunt taught me a lot. And I wish she was here to see me. And then my cousin Tori, she does hair now as well. And that was something she promised her mom right before she passed away. But like my Uncle Robert, I had a hard time with it at the beginning because of the stuff that I saw him do. And it took me a while to get past it, but when I got past it and saw what it did to him, it changed my uncle. It changed his life. And it changed it for the better. Like even my grandma, my mom's mom, my uncle's mom, like when Papa John passed away, I was the only grandchild to see him. And like my grandma got to the point where she was a diabetic and it was so bad. My my grandma tried to kill herself twice. And the second time my mom had to put her in home. Like she would try to kill herself by taking insulin. So much insulin. And it it wasn't her time. That's why they were able to bring her back. But like everybody deals with something, everybody has traumatic issues. It's how you try to move past it. You will never get rid of it. It's always going to be in your mind, but it's how you percept it, how you move forward. Don't look back. Don't keep looking back. Try to better yourself. Like that's the only, that's my aspect. That's how I look on things.
Very well said.
And I know I've done some stupid shit. Everyone has, but uh, it's how you get past it and learn from your mistakes and move forward with yourself. Try not to hold grudges. Learn to forgive. I mean, it's not our decision who judges. Whenever that time comes and we stand in front of God, He's the one that makes the decision, not us. So, yeah.
I'm curious, what else would y'all like to add to this? Because we have, by the way, I love this talk. I think we've done a really great job with just the goal of all of these, and I'll just say, I said this to y'all before this, but I'll say it on camera. The goal of all of these is to help out anyone who might be watching this, who might, let's say they might have a similar story, or maybe not. Maybe theirs is completely different, but we are on that topic of life is probably sucking for the person watching right now. And if it is, and they're watching this, the whole goal of this is to just help them through even today.
Absolutely.
You know, even just to get through the day. I know how hard it can get.
Absolutely.
So with this, if there's anything else y'all want to add, now is the time for literally anything.
Well, I'd like to go if you don't mind. If you're watching this today and you're done, you're ready to give up, please don't. I beg you that you don't. And I beg that you just find someone to talk to. We gave a hotline number. Now you can text it. Smiles is going to put my Instagram handle on the bottom. You can contact me.
Same here.
Patrick's going to do the same.
Pat the Irish Barber.
Start with communicating. You got to get that hurt out. We're creatures of love, and we have to communicate. And so please understand that.
Come in and get a haircut. Vent to us.
And if you can't, or reach out to us, DM us. If you just need someone to just unload on, like I said, you just need a shoulder to cry on. It starts there. It starts with communication. And once you start communicating, then what's going to happen is that next step is you're going to see that you are validated. You do have a purpose, and you're just your own worst critic. We all are. We all have insecurities. We all are our own worst critic. We all wish that something could be different about us, whether it be physically or financially, whatever the case may be. But just know that you have a purpose and that you have a reasoning for being here. And I'm going to share something that I share with my children. I share with people here at the shop. The Creator could have very well chose you to be a tree. You could have been a rock. You could have been something else. But you were chosen to be Smiles. He knows every strand of hair on your scalp. He knows you better than you know yourself. You were chosen to be Patrick. I was chosen to be Dappa. We have a purpose. And once again, I want to thank you for you fulfilling your purpose, because you're doing something that a lot of people probably wish they could. And it's just doing that action. You have to be a doer. You know what I'm saying? So if you're out there and you're just ready to call it quits, just please know that you're loved and talk to somebody.
Yeah, there's multiple ways that you can go about getting help. Turn to music. Music really helps me. There's a artist called Mims, and he was a popular rap artist in the 90s. But Mims stands for Music is My Savior. Music helps. Whether it's any type of music, it speaks to you.
Well, there's some music that have negative frequencies.
Yes.
So you might need to be careful on the music. Have a music that has a different frequency that's uplifting. Patrick said something that's very key. Music is like food, because when your body is weak, what do you do to feed your body? You give your body fuel. You give your body food. You give it water. But what do you do, Smiles, when your spirit is weak? How do you feed your spirit and your soul? And you do that through prayer and through music, through worship. When you're saying positive things, there's a very powerful thing. It's scientifically proven and it's biblical. It's called power of the tongue. So Smiles, if you speak positivity, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get positivity back in return. But when you speak negatively, how's your day today, Joe? Oh, my day sucks. People suck. Traffic sucks. This government sucks. When you project that negativity, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get negativity back, because once again, there's negative energy around us and there's positive energy around us. That's why in the scripture it says there's a spiritual warfare going on around us that we can't see. We can feel it, but a lot of us can't see it. So start to learn how to speak positive. I could be having a bad day. A client comes in, "Hey Dappa, how's it going?" You know what? It's going good. It could be worse, but today's going to be a good day. Even if I struggle,
even if you're joking about it,
just speak positivity and see how that changes your life.
Like one of my favorite movies growing up was Kindergarten Cop. Arnold Schwarzenegger had this quote in the movie, and this Arnold Schwarzenegger like, "I got a headache," and this kid goes, "It might be a tumor." And the article says,
So-
it's not a tumor.
So there was a
Well,
very
my-
famous line,
My
right?
mom used to say, oh, I got a headache. I always say, it might be a tumor. Guess what happened?
But after years and years of speaking it,
My mom had tumors in her head. And
So-
he
so-
told me don't speak it. And
real
so,
real
yeah.
quick, scientists have proven they took two plants in a room and they yelled and profanity at this one plant for like a week. That plant started dying and started drooping. They went to another room to another plant, say, you're gorgeous, you have purpose, you're beautiful. That plant thrived. They did the same with 2 glasses of water. They would, because water takes in frequency, right? They would do the exact same thing with water. After a week or so, that water started to turn, and the glass of water that they were speaking positivity to stayed clear. So it is a scientifically proven that you want to speak positively, and it starts with that. And once you start to be positive and you speak positive, you change everything within. You know what I'm saying? So it starts with that. Very important.
Well, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for this, because I know for a fact, whoever's watching this, if you made it to this point, one thing to take away is life is beautiful.
It is.
You might be going through something hard right now. You might have went through something very traumatic 20 years ago. I don't know what you're going through, but at the end of the day, we are here for you. There are people out there that care about you.
That's right.
So please do not give up.
Yes.
And be a maniac for life. And always remember that when life sucks, smile.
That's